I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down. He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack. Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber!
Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man.
Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG. I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? What is up, MCR family? It's a solo dolo edition of Live Fight Chat. Obviously, Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia going down right now in the Dallas AT&T Stadium. 47,000+ in attendance. The card overall so far, both men are in the ring in the final introductions. But before the fight starts, give my brief thoughts on the event before we head into it. It's been a lot of mismatches, guys. It makes me concerned that my prediction is going to be very eerily right about this main event. I hope we get something competitive at least, and I can be at least... I'm okay with being wrong about how much of a mismatch this main event is, if it means we get a good fight, because I spent $75 on this event, guys. I know. Said I wasn't going to do it. I did it. I'm trash. I know. But hopefully this main event pays off for it, because the rest of the card has not lived up to the $75 price tag. But anyways, digressing from all of that, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe. I am Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. But both men are getting the last sort of introductions from the ref, going to the respective corners, and it seems like we're about to start round one. Call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue, or call in on Skype, add Mixed Combat Radio if you want to get your opinions in on this fight and card midway through the fight or after the fight. But first round about to start. Final officials leaving the ring, guys. Oh, I'm nervous. Not really. It's good to see a big fight, at least, of some magnitude. You know, sold 47,000 tickets. That can't be that bad. Come on, guys. What are we waiting for here? Shout out to this Fox pay-per-view pacing. Chris saying awful card, awful commentary, and awful production. Yeah, I'm going to delve really into this entire card on the later review show, probably tomorrow or the day after. But regardless of that, hopefully this main event does pay off. I think most of us, unless you're in the UK, have paid for this. Unless you are, like, I don't know, savvy enough to find a good stream right now. I tried, but God, PBC was on it today. You could tell. What are they doing? What? It's just both men bouncing around, back and forth. I'm severely confused why we're waiting. Finally, first round starting, ladies and gentlemen. You want to sync up. 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Spence already pressuring, throwing out a lot of fielder jabs already. Mikey on the retreat. Let's see how Mikey's lateral movement is. I've always sort of questioned that. I think his lateral movement at times can be probably some of his weakness defensively, even though he's a great defensive boxer. Yo, Jay over here trying to be like Eminem. What up, Jay? How you doing? Come on, Spence. Let's have a good fight here. You know, Mikey, obviously, like some, keys to victory, so to speak. He has to start. I think he fundamentally has to win the battle of the jab. He fundamentally has to win that battle. If he cannot get his jab going, if he cannot at least dictate the pace of this fight, the tempo of this fight with his patented jab, I think he struggles. On top of that, I think he has to work the body a lot. I think he has to work lateral movement a lot. I think he has to step away from the left hand of Spence. Right now, he's doing a decent job of just keep circling to his left, away from the power hand of Errol Spence being the southpaw. But that needs to be, some focus, so to speak, from a game plan perspective for Mike Garcia. For Errol Spence, let's be honest, the game plan's pretty obvious. So good left hand to the body there from Errol Spence, partially blocked, but a lot of fearless jabs from Spence here as we're about midway through the first round. Not anything really landing. Like I said, a lot of fearless jabs, trying to find the range. I think both guys highly respecting the other here, especially Mikey via Spence. I mean, I think Mikey really hasn't engaged in anything yet because he doesn't want to rush in there and get countered with that left hand from Spence. Also, I mean, I think probably both guys are thinking about this fight going the distance, or at least going far into the fight. Maybe cardio could be something they pay attention to, at least is something they conserve in the first few rounds. But some keys to victory for Spence, I mean, obviously, body work. I mean, he has to just go to the body. Has to land the jab as well. I think he has to corner Mikey along the ropes. I think that's very key to his game, especially this fight. I think he can't allow Mikey just to have space, have some breathing room to sort of be comfortable, dictate the range, because both guys are masters of range. That's the funny part. Actually, not funny part. The interesting part of this matchup is both guys, fundamentally speaking, are some of the best guys when it comes to understanding their range, their opponent's range, and how to utilize both. Distance management is such a key talent of both these guys. I'm curious as to who gets their range and distance down first. Obviously, Spence, it's a little bit of an easier battle for him because he's the taller, bigger, rangier guy. So it shouldn't be that much of an issue. But for Mikey, what is his game plan? Is it to be on the back foot looking for counters? I'm curious as to what the thought plan was for that, or is it to maybe go on the inside, land body work, to play the small man game, but he's not the heavier hitter of the two. So it's a really interesting fight from a Mikey Garcia standpoint because he has to fight perfect. He has to minimize Errol Spence heavily in this fight. He has to negate a lot of his offense in order to win rounds. But that was a clear, first round for Spence. Activity alone. Mikey was hesitant. I'm trying to listen to what Robert Garcia is telling Mike Garcia in the corner. Something about side to side. I'm probably assuming that he's talking about, hey, work side to side, work your counters. He didn't get hit with anything in that round either. No major red flags from either guy here in terms of a game plan, in terms of having to adapt at this point. And that was just a pure feel-out round. But again, a clear 10-9 round for Errol Spence. Let me know who you guys thought won that round in the chat below. UK Rob, a.k.a. Robbie Hearns, a.k.a. the co-host who's in his pajamas right now, saying that he gave that round to Spence as well. Second round starting 2 minutes and 50 seconds if you want to sync up. Mikey taking the center of the ring this time. Interesting. Spence is usually a slow starter, too. I think that's something that we forget to sort of discuss when talking about Errol Spence fights because, A, he is such a dynamic body puncher. He's such a dynamic hitter in a way that I think we forget that he's a really slow starter. He's a guy that has to get sort of worked into fights most of the time. He's not a guy that's coming out all guns blazing off the first round, usually speaking. He's a guy that needs 4 rounds, 5 rounds to get into a rhythm, get into a pace, in my mind. And plus, he's sort of a methodical worker. Both guys are. Both guys are methodical boxers, in a sense. One just happens to be more of a body puncher, more of a heavier hitter of the two. Both guys, a lot of feints, good left hand from Errol Spence, straight left hand, partially deflected, partially rolled by Mikey, but that was a good left hand. Spence is doing more right here in these spots. Mikey isn't really throwing, and all these sort of feeler jabs seem to me more like feints than, quote, throwaway jabs. Left hand on the body there from Spence. But Spence is just doing more. He's landing more, being a little more active. His feeler jabs are at least touching Mikey. They're touching the glove. They're touching the shoulders. All of his punches are just way too short. A minute left in the second round. Good left hand in the body there from Spence. Straight left hand, long left hand. That range is such a, I think, a massive factor in this fight. Ooh, good little left hook there from Mikey over the jab of Spence. Left hook, right hand there from Mikey. I like that. Oh, another little combination there from Mikey Garcia. Okay, Mikey, opening up a little bit more. It's going to be interesting to see if, let's say Mikey does get a little more active on the inside, go a little left hook to the body from Mikey, and start trying to throw volume with Spence. How does Spence react? I think Spence could take a lot of these shots from Mikey, to be honest. It might look a lot like Farmer Carroll in a way, or Benavidez, Jalen Love, which we just saw. Jalen Love was landing a lot of good body shots against David Benavidez. It didn't matter, though, because the massive size difference, the massive power difference. That could be a potential factor here. Final seconds in the round. I like the last little minute and a half here from Mikey. It might have honestly stole the round from me. That's a tough round to score. I'm going to give that one Mikey. But that's a close one. I thought Mikey landed some really good combinations there towards the end. And Spence started shelling up a little bit. And the first minute and a half of that round, Spence didn't really do enough for me to really give him that round. So 10-9 Mikey in that round, but that's close. That was a really tight round. If somebody wants to give that, like Rob saying that's a 2-0, it's now 2-0 Spence. He's giving that second round to Spence. I have no issue with that, fundamentally speaking. And just for the sake of me trying to keep track, I'm going to try posting it in the chat as well. Otherwise, I will definitely lose track of my score. Oh, no, that left was deflected. Showing the highlights here. Mikey did some really good work there, I think, working around the jab of Spence. I thought that was pretty nice. Let's see if Spence, I think, starts switching up the tempo of that jab. I think that's the issue. All these sort of feeler jabs from Spence are all sort of one note, one speed. I think if he sort of tried to mix it up a little bit with the timing of that. Also, try and go in the body a little more. That's how I would view it. Because Mikey does have a really good sense of timing. Good left hand in the body there from Spence. Also, again, body work. That's going to take away a lot of those sort of flurries from Mikey. Hey, if people gave that round to Spence, again, I'm not mad with that, but I like that last sort of minute and a half for Mikey. He was landing good combinations there. 2 minutes and about 10 seconds if you guys want to sync up with this third round. Mikey being a little bit of the aggressor here right now. I like that. We get to see another side of Spence. I like seeing the guy that's on the back foot moving and trying to work counters. Again, we saw glimpses of that against Lamont Peterson, but it was more of like him trying to style on Peterson more so than him having to do that. Right now, Mikey's giving him a little bit of trouble with this left hook over the jab. And Mikey's doing a good job following that up with the right straight. Ooh, good left hook there from Spence. Wow. A lot of punches being thrown from Spence early. That's quite impressive. It's like 130, 100 some odd punches, and I think Mikey's was like 50. That's pretty impressive. Mikey doing a better job of evading these combinations from Mikey. Like he's not being so static with his head movement. Good left hand there from Spence. He's a little more fluid. That's something that people have criticized Spence for with his lack of head movement per se, or the fact that he hasn't really shown it was more likely. Right hand to the body there from Mikey, partially blocked from Spence. Ooh, good left hand there from Errol Spence. If this fight starts opening up a little bit more, I think Spence will take over. I think the power will just be too much. And it looks like we're about maybe a round or two away from both of these guys opening up in some really nice combinations on the inside. Both guys are just a lot more active in this last round. I would also say this is a clear Spence round as well. He's been the more efficient boxer here. Really like the head movement from Spence right now. Again, I always thought he had that. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it in the gym. But I like that he's finally showing it. It's like third round has ended. Again, clear Spence round. I now have it 2-1 for Spence. But again, could easily have it 3-0 for Spence at this point. I want to also say that at this point, I don't see it ending early. Though, to be honest, neither guy has really landed something really clean yet, in my opinion. Once Spence lands that left hook clean on the chin, does it change the fight? Possibly. If we're now 6-7 rounds into the fight and that body work is now doubling, tripling up, maybe that makes a difference. But at this point, Mikey's handling these shots pretty well. He's handling the pressure of Spence pretty well, as I will say. But then again, I mean, look at Canelo Khan. That was competitive for 5.5 rounds until that knockout. Kelbrook, Triple G, competitive for a round and a half, 2 rounds. Fourth round has started. Spence turned. I mean, just the activity of Spence is just incredible. I mean, again, when I was in the gym with him, he would work out, like let's say hit the heavy bag or mitts or whatever sort of drill he was doing, and it would be 40, 50, 60 minutes straight, no breaks. No, I need to get water. Nope. He would hit the heavy bag for 50 minutes straight. Doesn't stop. So I am curious as to how the cardio machine of Spence deals with a Mikey who might be a little bit too overweight in this fight. Ooh, good left hand there from Spence. Oh, looking a little flashy. I like Jay's comment in the chat saying Spence using head movement. You've been the pound for pound by the end of this. Yeah, I mean, that Spence Crawford fight, guys. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be really, really tough fight for me to pick, guys, as a Crawford fan. Oh God, Spence opening up there now. Good right hand there from Mikey, but I feel like he's getting overwhelmed here in these combinations. Christopher Frank saying, I can still see a Spence KO around the 8th. I can still see that. Another. If this keeps escalating this way, yes. But I mean, like sub 6 rounds. If this was a TKO within 6, I don't see that just yet. But oh God, Spence is opening up, man. And his shots, I mean, they're so thudding and powerful. It reminds me of like almost like a prime Triple G in that way. Like you can feel the power. Well, both guys digging on the inside right now. But again, Spence getting the better of it. Landing more, throwing more. I think being the overall better boxer as well. His head movement's better than Mike Garcia at this point. His defensive ability is better than Mike Garcia at this point. But we are seeing a tough Mike Garcia. That's true. 4th round, 30 seconds left in the round. Another clear Spence round, in my opinion. And I think Spence is really starting to open up. Like I said, he takes around 4 rounds to open up, and this is the end of the 4th round. He has opened up a lot in this round, last round and a half. Ooh, good uppercut there by Spence. God. Spence is terrifying right now. Oh, good combination there from Mikey. The right hook landed. But that was a clear Spence round. Damn. I have a 3-1 for Spence, but could see a 4-0 Spence scorecard easily. Pato in the chat saying Mikey looks too slow, guys. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if necessarily if speed is the deciding factor, but it is definitely a factor in what we're seeing right now. 100% believe with that. Jump Tube saying Mikey missing wide open body shots. I think Mikey is a little bit shook right now. I'll be honest. That last round looked like a Mikey that was running out of ideas, running out of time, running out of the sort of pace he needs in order to set up his offense. I think we saw a shook Mikey Garcia in that last round. Any other last good points? Jay going back to his pound for pound Spence talk, saying because that was his only quote air quote flaw. Yeah, of course. I mean, we've known Spence is, a fucking phenom. Like, that's never been in doubt. He just needs the wins and experience, Double up the jab, Spence left hand. Fifth round, 2 minutes and 40 seconds for anyone that wants to sync up. Good right hand counter there from Mikey. When Mikey does sort of go for it, Spence does shell up at times. Ooh, there we go. Both guys exchanged on the inside. Ooh, good right hook on the inside from Errol Spence. Both guys landing really hard shots on the inside in this first minute of the round. God. Spence's just ability to get in and out of range is just sublime. It really is. I know we talk about him being like this brutal body puncher and a great knockout artist, but he fundamentally is just a great boxer. Errol Spence is one of the best boxers in the game. That is true. Like that really can't be doubted anymore. Like him and Crawford probably deserve to be in the pound for pound top 10 right now. Ooh, left hand over the top of Spence's guard. Kind of a slapping shot, but God, that's one of those shots where just, I was talking about earlier, but it just looks like there's so much power behind it. That was one of those shots. Ooh, good left hand there from Spence. Sends Mikey one step back. Almost looked like he hurt him for a second, but I think Mikey shook his legs out. He was good. Spence really taking over in this minute of the round. First minute was a little bit close, but this last minute has been pretty dominant for him. Final minute in the fifth round. Ooh, God, left straight from Spence. Lands straight down the pipe. God damn. I need to make a list of like boxers when they start hitting people, it makes me like wince in pain. Spence is high on that list, guys, right? Like Spence is really high on that list. Ooh, good right hook there from Mikey, but it'll be one shot that connects. It's never a full combination. It's never building up to a prolonged offensive advantage. I don't think Mikey really knows what to do here. He's outgunned. He doesn't have really the technique, so to speak, to deal with the Spence, in my opinion. He doesn't have the lateral movement, speed, and power. It's really the power more than anything. Mikey just does not have the power to keep a Spence off of him, to make a Spence go from 100-plus punches a round to 50 punches a round. He just can't do that. Yeah, another round for Errol Spence, 4-1. Lennox Lewis says Errol Spence is boxing a perfect fight right now. I could not agree anymore. I think it was Christopher that said earlier in the chat that he could still see that KO with the Nate. That's the one thing I want to see here from Spence, is that Spence, this is a guy that clearly is outmatched. Maybe a few more rounds of beating him up, but you need to get him out of here, in my opinion. Or at least it should look that way, let's be honest. Juan David Hernandez saying 3-2. What was the second round he gave Mikey? I'm curious. And Joe Yoshi saying this is going 12. It could. It definitely could. Mikey's a very tough guy. Obviously never been finished. Absolutely could. It is a distinct possibility. Just one that maybe it's a 40% possibility or a 50% possibility, but Spence is laying it on pause, but he's laying it on fucking Mikey right now. We got to be honest about that. Mikey's getting bruised up, beat up in this fight. Oh, good left hand there from Errol Spence. Good left hand there from Spence again. Oh, good right hook there. Left hook there from Mikey Garcia to the body. 2 minutes left in the 6th round. Number of punches landed from Spence, 103. A number of punches landed from Mikey Garcia, 34. Double jab, left hand there from Spence. Just clean fundamental work. Doubling up on the hook to the body right there. God, when Spence swings with that left hook wide, it does sometimes get a little bit sloppy, but goddamn. Good jab to the body by Spence. I mean, there's really nothing to say on Spence's side anymore because he's boxing a perfect fight. I think he's starting to even toy with Mikey in a way. I mean, this whole round has been... Oh! Huge left hook lands on Mikey. Mikey fires back, but that was a monster shot. You know, Mikey, I mean, what do you tell him in this corner right now? I mean, you can probably tell him the perfect game plan to beat Spence, but can he execute that is a completely different story. Well, Mikey going for broke right there. I like that. Spence doing a very good job of evading most of those shots, though. But back to my point, I mean, if I'm in Mikey's corner right now, I'm yelling at him, yo, slap away that fucking jab and jab over it. You got to start earning your respect back in this jab battle. Because again, that was my first point about this. Another thing, stop circling to that left straight. Mikey is circling a lot to his right as this fight wears on. And that means he's circling straight to that left power hand from Errol Spence. Another thing here, stop being so static in your waist movement. You got to start, dipping. Got to start fucking slipping some of these shots instead of just trying to either deflect them or block them / absorb them. Also, these very small flurries here and there, you need to stretch that out and have prolonged periods of offense in order to win these rounds. Can he do that? I fundamentally don't believe Mike Garcia can do that right now. And I also don't think that Mike Garcia can land that single shot to change this fight. Maybe he could. Maybe he could. I just don't believe that. It's another round for Spence. I'm at 5-1 for Errol Spence right now, but, man, this is just clearly who said it? J-Kid in the chat saying snowball is getting bigger. That's a very apt point there, J-Kid. It is the snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and bigger as time rolls on. And it's causing more destruction as time goes on as well. Jump Tube saying fight starts for Mike in the 7th. That was good. That was good. Wazzy saying Mikey doesn't have the power to make Spence respect him. Absolutely agree. This has been a card of mismatches for $75, guys. Woohoo. Oh, God. Mikey eats a double, triple jab, then a left straight. And again, Mikey is, we've talked about this before with some of these big fights, especially this sort of dynamic, a fighter moving up multiple weight classes, facing a very dominant champion at the time. The most obvious example is Loma Rigondeaux, right, where the fighter moving up starts getting so demoralized that they shell up. It's quicksand, like the shot movie, The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. It's quicksand. You know, you're making mistakes, you're getting hit over and over again, and now you're trapped and you're almost like claustrophobic, and you can't do anything. You're inside your own head in a way. I think Mikey is at that point. Like, he's at a mental point in this fight more than a physical, even though he's getting physically beat up in this match. Mentally, he cannot deal with the pressure of Errol Spence right now. And mentally, he's going to have to get over that in order to physically adapt to this fight. I just doubt that really comes. I doubt that really happens. By the way, 7th round, minute and a half left in it. Spence is just kind of in cruise control right now, bigging him up. Spence's head movement. God. That Crawford fight, guys. Let me know in the chat right now, like your right now immediate thoughts on a Spence Crawford fight. Is this enough from Errol Spence to like firmly think, yeah, maybe he's too much for Terrence Crawford? I don't know, man. As a Crawford stan, Spence is really good. Joe Lopez saying, I think at this point Mikey just trying to survive. Yep. Akuma's Deception saying Crawford is the only guy, the guy that can neutralize Spence, in my opinion. Jay adding, and a 2016 Thurman. Yeah, man. RIP that Thurman, right? He's off playing the flute in Japan somewhere. PSK saying no, outside foot placement for Garcia. No, I mean, I think Mikey has sort of thrown the game plan out the window because the game plan wasn't working. Whatever backups they have just aren't working. Mikey's not landing. And when you cannot land any of your shots on a guy and you're getting just pieced up, you shell up. You mentally shell up. Smasher, set my alarm for this earlier fights. Any good? Define good. I'll say this. You can watch the David Benavidez, Jay Leon Love fight because you will see David Benavidez just beat up Jay Leon Love, and that's hilarious. What else? Nope. Don't need to see anything else on this card, in my opinion. 50-50 fight between him and Bud, says Pato. What else? Anyone else? Joey Ocean saying Crawford. Okay. Curious then, for the people that are picking Crawford still, what does Spence need to show you to make you think he beats Crawford? Curious. Put your thoughts there in the live chat or in the comment section below after the show is done. Heading, the 8th round now? God, this has just been dominant. Eighth round has started. God. Every time the round opens, Spence just jumps in with like a triple jab and lands a left hook either to the body or upstairs. Every time a round opens. Like he is just like off the rip aggressive in these rounds right now. I like it. It sets the tone. And again, it puts Mikey on the defensive immediately. It doesn't allow Mikey to sort of set a rhythm early in these rounds, sort of get back into his game. Good left hand of the body there from Errol Spence. God. Ooh, right hook there from Mikey. I like that. Spence getting a little bit too, not cocky, but a little bit too comfortable there on the inside, landing too many shots, getting a little bit too wide. Mikey come back with the right hook. That was nice. Good jab there from Spence. Man, I really don't know what else to say here, guys. I mean, what does Mikey do? Let me know in the chat, guys. Jump to saying Areola. Nah, don't need to see it, guys. Trust me. Just trust me. Why? Look on BoxRec. Oh, Jace, you did bring up, I forgot this, Lewis Neary. Watch the Lewis Neary fight. Because, I mean, McJoe Arroyo is not the greatest guy at bantamweight. We know that. But he's a known veteran. But Lewis Neary looked good. He looked really good. Watch, I would say, the Lewis Neary, David Benavidez fight just because of who those guys are, their relevance in their respective divisions. You have to sort of pay attention to them. But those fights were all mismatches. Like, they were fundamental mismatches. But exciting finishes, I would say that. Especially the Arroyo finish. I mean, Lewis Neary, that was quite impressive, guys. That Obali Neary fight for the WBC belt will be a great little interim fun fight because Abali's a fun fighter. While we wait for Inoue to destroy the World Boxing Super Series, and then come fight Lewis Neri, even though that fight probably would never happen. But that'd be awesome, wouldn't it, guys? Even though Lewis Neri is like permanently banned from Japan. 30 seconds left in the 8th round. By the way, guys, Spence has been dominant in this round. Garcia's landed 12% of his punches in this round. Spence has landed 40. Oh, good uppercut there from Errol Spence. Oh, God. Another big left hook from Errol Spence there. 8th round, guys. My prediction was wrong. It made it past the 8th round. Shout out to Mikey's chin holding up. If this was Amir Khan, I mean, what, round 3? 4? In between round, showing Derek James. Derek James hilarious. Anyways, everyone basically is in agreement here. Spence killing Mikey. Guys, man, this is what weight classes. That's why weight classes exist for a reason. Jump to saying, what did he do in Japan? It was the whole Yamanaka saga and controversy, or infamous whole like missing weight, testing positive for Combuterol, like that whole situation. Like Japan was like, nah, fuck that. Plus Yamanaka was, he was like, he was the Mayweather Nevada relationship with the Japanese sanctioning body, if that makes sense. You know, with how Mayweather always was beloved and never ever got real punishments from Nevada, and was always got preferential treatment. Yeah, Yamanaka was that in Japan. I think that sort of is another reason why. But I actually think they just actually lifted the suspension, but I doubt they actually license him to fight or give him a license. 9th round, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Spence hunting him down. Oh God. I'm shocked Mikey's taking these shots this well. I'll be honest, like he hasn't really been hurt, wobbled in any of this. Like we've seen Salido hurt Garcia. I am kind of shocked Spence hasn't rocked Mikey. Maybe it's just the added weight, him not cutting to like 126. Maybe he was actually doing more harm than good cutting that much weight, speaking of Mikey. And that's why he was able to get hurt against a guy like Salido. Because he's, in a sense, weight drained, dehydrated. Christopher saying, yeah, I'm done scoring too. Yeah, I agree. There's no point in scoring it, guys. When he thought it was going to be like slightly competitive, it's like, yeah, we should score it. No, not anymore. Jay saying it's not a speed thing, it's a range thing where he's second-guessing himself. So when he decides to throw, he doesn't commit 100%, which manifests as looking like he's slow. Also, that's why he's coming up short. Oh, God, Spence. I think Spence trying to get this finish here in the round, guys. He's going to overdrive mode. Oh, Mikey. Mikey is going to get finished in this round. Watch me be off by like one fucking round. I'll be so pissed. Spence piecing him up. Ooh. God. Over 230 punches landed from Errol Spence. Only 50 punches landed from Mikey. Wow. PSK saying, you think Spence will last much longer at 147? Yeah, I don't think Spence is as weight drained as people think. Like, look at his cardio. Like, look at his chin. Look at his power. Look at his athleticism. Like, I fundamentally don't think Spence has too much issues cutting weight. I know that might be crazy to some to think, but being around him and being around other guys that are around that weight class, 140 pounders even, Spence isn't as big as I think some people like want to to portray. Like, he's not a Jamal James, like, massive guy for the weight class. He's not a Jared Hurd respective to his weight class, where he has to cut 10-plus pounds the day before the fight. Like, that is extremely unhealthy. That means Hurd's coming in or before fight camp 30 pounds overweight probably. So Spence is more like he's a 20, maybe a 25-pound guy over the weight. So he's around 160-ish, walking around. I don't think that's big of a that's fundamentally a big deal. He can cut that 15-plus pounds, 20 pounds within 8 weeks. I think Spence can last a few more years at 147 easily. And also, I will say this. I don't think he moves up till like Jamel moves up. Like, I don't think that happens. There's no reason for him to as well. Because, again, I don't think he is weight drained. I don't think it's a hard weight cut for him. Jay saying now he's trying to slow down from the damage. Yep, absolutely agree. That round was tough, man. I'm surprised Mikey made it out of that without, again, getting rocked or dropping from those body shots. Goosen saying that maybe Spence will get the Mikey, not Mikey fight, Manny Pacquiao fight because of how good he's looked. No. There's no way Pacquiao's taking a Spence fight, right? If anything, this makes me 100% certain that we're going to get a Pacquiao-Keith Thurman fight more than anything. And Spence versus probably Sean Porter is next if I'm a betting man. Right? And depending on the pay-per-view buy rate, that Spence-Porter fight, ooh. Let's hope, guys. Let's hope that's a Fox main event. Let's pray to God. Ooh, God, shots to the body. Quick question for the chat. If this fight, I should phrase it this way. At this point, is this a star-making performance for Errol Spence? Regardless of the pay-per-view buy rate, is this a, quote, star-making performance from Errol Spence? Would really like the chat's thoughts on that, because I've seen some media members bandy that sort of talking point out, and I don't necessarily know if I agree with it yet. Deception saying Spence stops Porter. I mean, yeah. PSK saying Spence quarter walk around 170. Yeah, he probably gets up to maybe 170. But I would say, like, if it's 8 weeks out, he's not above $165. There's no way. Again, I've been around the guy. Like, if he is, he balloons up a lot more than what I've seen. Because, again, he's only 5'9". Like, he's my height. He's not a tall guy. He's not a really gigantic guy. Like him and Keith Thurman are the same height, same size, for example. Like him and Crawford are like the same height and same size. $40 seconds left in the 10th round. Oh, God, thudding left hand there from Errol Spence. The towel will be thrown in. I hope so, but I also don't think it will be. Smashing is the stadium full? Not seeing the crowd. It's over 47,000. 47,500 something, I think. About halfway full. But for reference, I think the record at AT&T Stadium for a boxing fight, or just a fight period, is Canelo versus Liam Smith, and that did 51,000. So this fight did pretty well attendance-wise when all said and done. That's fundamentally not the issue. Deception saying you think Loma overwhelms Garcia? I'll put it this way. I haven't really thought about that as I've been watching this, but I probably should, because Spence has been in the southpaw. I think his movement has been quite quite high level, you know, maybe not Loma level, but, you know, the lateral movement, the in and out, the head movement, the amount of feints, the amount of just volume Those are things that Loma will do in a Mikey fight. Do I think Loma overwhelms Mikey? Yeah, I probably do. Like, if I gun to my head, if I had to pick right now who wins that fight, I think it's Loma. I think he wins by decision. Again, I've never been that high on Mikey. I'll be honest. I've always been a little bit of a Mikey hater. So maybe I'm not the best person to ask that. Joey, I know, man. It is sad. I'm pissed. You have no idea. But hey, because of that, I'm live with you guys. So it's all worth it, right? All worth it, Joey. It's all worth it. The silver lining in me buying this pay-per-view is, A, that's a tax write-off. Secondly, is that I get to spend the show with you guys, so it's okay. 11th round, 2 minutes and about 20 seconds. Spence, just please end it. Yes, here we go. Spence going all out, scoring up a little bit. I don't like that, but hey, I mean, come on. Is Mikey really going to make him pay? No. No, he's not. Let's do this. Come on, Spence. I want a fucking 20-piece combination. God, Mikey just taking these blows, guys. This makes me hurt. Like, my head hurts right now from watching Mikey take these shots. I really hope he gets a good doctor checkout after this fight, because, god damn. Whew. Jake Hitt saying this performance solidifies his status in the top 5 pound for pound. We got Loma, Crawford, Canelo. I would throw Inoue up there as well. Who else am I forgetting? I'm forgetting someone really key. Who can I think of? Loma, Canelo, Inoue, Crawford. Yeah, maybe Spence. Maybe Spence slips in that top 5. I don't know. I don't know if this is the fight that does it. That's why I asked the question earlier, Chaz. Like, is this the fight that's a star-making performance? Like, most of us, I think, went to this fight thinking that Mikey wasn't going to be competitive. And we were all sort of proven right, in a way. So does that mean that this is the fight to say that, yeah, man, Spence is the guy? I don't know. I think, again, if it was reversed, if this was Mikey winning, it would be, because it would be Mikey moving up 2 weight classes. It would mean more. Usyk, thank you, J-Kid. Oh, God. Shots at me, guys. I knew I was forgetting someone. I'm like, God, who is it? I'm like, it's me in the higher weight class. I'm like, no, it's not like a heavyweight. But I'm like, oh, it is heavyweight now, technically. But yes, Usyk. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would throw Spence in the top 5, man. He's close. He definitely is close. Top 10, absolutely. But top 5, nah, man. I think that top 5 is, again, Loma, Crawford, Canelo, Usyk, and Inoue. That's a legit top 5 pound for pound right there. Last round, ladies and gentlemen. God, thank you, please. Call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. If you're international, add Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. Jerry saying beating up a 135-pounder. Wow. Yeah, that's sort of like what my point is. Like, how much do we? I don't want to downplay this win because Spence is looking great. Like, this is a great performance from him, but it's also one we expected. So, yes, you met expectations, but those expectations were pretty low considering we all thought this was a mismatch. I wonder if, let's say he does like this to a Sean Porter, I think that opinion might change. But it was Mikey Garcia. I'll be honest. Last round, ladies and gentlemen, thank the Lord. Again, call in. Definitely want some opinions about this card. Otherwise, I would just head out of here. I don't mind. You know me. Does Mikey go for broke here? I mean, what do you do here? Does Spence just go in cruise control and win this last round? Because, hell, he's done it all, or does he try to sort of close out the show in spectacular fashion? Yeah, but jump to saying if he breathes that hard against Bud, he ain't making the decision. He's throwing 1,000 punches. 1,000 punches. When was the last time Crawford threw 1,000 punches? Like, I don't know. I'll be honest. It could have been recently. It could have been the Benavidez fight, for God's sake. But I don't think he's a 1,000 punch sort of fighter. Spence, that's a lot. Jay saying, y'all can also look at this as a testament of how good Mikey is, because remember, Spence finished actual welterweights. This guy finished and now 154-pounder, cut Brooklyn on Peterson, etc., and goes distance with a 135-pounder. It definitely is a testament to Mikey's durability. I think that is absolutely true, Jay. Is it a testament of how good Mikey is, to use this exact phrase you used? I don't know. You have to define what the parameters are for good. But, I mean, yeah, I think fundamentally it does show that he has a great chin. Nadine, come on, man. Brooks and Pearson are not bums. And they're not old. I think they're in their early 30s. God damn. That's so harsh. Got 40 seconds left in this shit. I wonder how bruised up Mikey's face is going to look tomorrow. Spence trying to get a finish, but God, Mikey's just in survival mode right now. This was a really bad fight. Not in terms of entertainment, because there's a fairly entertaining fight. A little bit obviously dominant one-sided, but it was fun, especially the first rounds 3 to 8 or 9 were really fun, But this being pay-per-view, absolute garbage, This is trash. Plus the rest of the undercard was all mismatches too. This entire card was mismatches priced at $75. I'm curious in the chat for all of our U.S. listeners or UK listeners, or not UK because it's not pay-per-view, maybe Canadian listeners, people that have to pay pay-per-view, wherever market you're in. Did you buy this on pay-per-view or did you stream it? Please let me know in the chat. I'm going to wait for the scorecards to be read. I guess. Right? Akuma saying this fight reminds me of Mayweather Marquez. Yeah. That's obviously one I've been comparing to for a long time. Mismatched card. Let me know if you guys bought it, though. I'm very curious about that. PSK saying Mikey versus Regis or Josh Taylor at 140. How would it go? Prograis is probably an easier fight, I'll be honest. Josh Taylor's a southpaw. I think southpaws probably give Mikey some issues. I think Regis can be controlled by a jab. A guy with a really good jab, really good fundamentals, really good activity, I think could give Prograis some issues. But I don't know, man. Those are tough fights. Those are. I think, I'll put it this way. I think Loma beats Mikey. So why would I think that Mikey can just go up to 140 still and beat those guys? I don't think that. I think those are pretty even competitive fights. Let me see. Stream team from Juan David Hernandez. What up, man? Banana Ramis saying, I bought this. Joey Sandstrom, stay asleep. Waiting for the scorecards to be announced, but it probably will be a clear decision for Spence. He's won, in my opinion, every round but 1 or 2. And that's being highly, highly generous to Mike Garcia. Yo, Smasher, when you said nothing positive I can say about Mikey in this fight, I read that as like there's nothing like negative. I don't know why. Totally read that way. It's late. I was about to really rip into you, pause, about how, like, nah, man, Mikey needs to be lambasted for this fight. This should never been allowed. Jump tube. I don't even want to talk about that shit. That pissed me off. Like that legit pissed me off. That we had to see Radio Raheem eat some food and run on a treadmill on pay-per-view. Why the fuck are we watching Radio Raheem on a $75 pay-per-view do whatever he was doing? I don't care about that. Also, hold on. Yep, all scorecards for Errol Spence. Why the hell are we seeing, I forget who the Fox presenter was, do a infomercial for the Dallas Cowboys Stadium? Like, why? I paid $75 for this. I don't want to see that. On top of that, I don't want to see a 6-round swing bout in the middle of a pay-per-view event. That adds more time to the telecast. I hate that. No, don't do that. The rest of the broadcast, I didn't have too much of an issue with. I thought some of the ideas and sort of things they tried to do, I was not mad about. Should we listen to this post-fight interview? Yeah, let me turn it up. Tell Manny Pacquiao to get over here. Are they really going to set up the Manny Pacquiao Errol Spence fight? Really? Yeah, why not? Asking Manny Pacquiao if he wants to do the fight. Yeah, why not? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'm adding that. God, yo, Mikey is gonna not Mikey. Goddamn, Manny is gonna get wrecked in that fight. Wow. Fugatti, get out of this chat right now. I'm upset with you. I'm upset. I really need the Drake soundbite. I'm upset. That would be a good soundbite. Should probably do that. But anyways, guys, God, I can't believe we're gonna get Errol Spence Manny Pacquiao pay-per-view fight. So does that mean we're gonna get Thurman Porter rematch? Yo, Phil, I'm gonna tell the people what you just sent me via text because it's funny enough. Saying, "Cunty, sorry I fell asleep." Trash, man. Trash. I wonder if he really got out of the live chat because he thought I was pissed off. I really wasn't, but still, shots. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that will be it. Unless we have callers, I'll wait a few more minutes, I guess. I'll let the outro play out for a bit. Wait for some of you callers to maybe call. If you don't, it's fine. We can just head out of here. There's no problem, guys. But God, what a one-sided fight. What a one-sided card. Like, this was a bad card. It was poorly. Like, the matchmaking here was bad. Like, it was fundamentally bad. They're about to interview Mikey right here. I don't give a shit what Mikey's about to say right here. You lost every round, and I never wanted to see this fight, and you made me pay for it. Thanks, Mikey. All because you wanted to achieve glory. Fuck your glory. No one cares about that. We want competitive, fun fights at the top of their respective divisions. Go down. Go fight Loma on pay-per-view, ESPN, whatever. I don't care. Go get a tune-up because you need a tune-up after your face got rearranged. But God. J Kidd saying Thurman Porter rematch. They both look so weak and scared last fight. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to get hyped for that rematch when both guys did not look entirely amazing in their last going. But we do have a caller, so let's go to 647. 647. Who is this? Where are you calling from?
Yo.
Bro. Yes.
Put some respect on Mikey's name, man. He did good. Hey. Nah, he didn't do good. I'm playing, man. I can't say I'm surprised though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, it's Jay.
I kind of caught that, Jay. I'll be honest. I remember the number kind of too.
But yo, man, is there anything you got surprised? I wasn't. This fight went two ways in my mind. It was either going to be a close fight for Mikey or a complete wash for Spence. You feel me? So.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, my boy Mikey, man, he went for it. He did what a lot of guys in boxing are supposed to do. He challenged himself. He took the risk, and he didn't come out with it. But yo, we need more of this. We need more of this.
You know what we need? We need more of, Jay. We need more of fighters willing to take the risk and cross the network aisle and make the big fights. Like, that's what we need more of. We don't need more of this on pay-per-view, in my opinion. I get your sentiment, like, Mikey is, like, he's courageous. Like, yeah, he was. Like, he definitely, like, had guts. Like, no one's saying that Mikey was a coward for taking this or any way like that, but it's also a fight that we didn't want. I don't think the sport needed in any way. Like, no one was really asking for this fight until they started pushing it on the Showtime PBC machine.
I agree. I would have much preferred to see the Loma fight, but Garcia, he wants that GOAT status, man. He's 39-0. Yeah. If he doesn't start making the big fights now, he'll never do it because 39-0, you can't go to. He doesn't have too many more fights in him.
No, I absolutely agree.
I appreciate what he did. A lot of people, I see the guys in the chat, they're out here talking that shit. But, they're shooting off their lips, but. Especially with Fugatti, man. He was fouled. And he said he just woke up. He slept through the whole fucking fight.
Yeah, he's on the line. He's on the line. I'm going to get to him in a second. Don't worry.
You feel me? But, hey, he did his thing. Garcia did his thing. He didn't win his rounds, but he didn't get stopped. Kell Brook got stopped. He got his face broke in rear range in every place. Fucking Lamont Peterson, he got his ass stopped. You feel me? So, Ocampo didn't even go around. This man got knocked on in the last second of the first round. I give Mikey some ratings, but in terms of just overall assessment of how we did, people were talking about his speed. I don't think it was a speed. I think it was just a range. Because Errol he was picking him up on the outside, and whenever he would overextend. Whenever he get too confident and overextend, he was ready for that. He was ready for that counter because he knows that's Mikey's game. It's a counter game, and he was ready for it at all times. So I think his game plan. I think Errol's game plan was just like perfect for this fight.
Agreed.
Him and Dennis Dennis James are doing their thing.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Jay, there's a bunch of static on your end, unfortunately. If you want, hang up, call back in. If you want to get any more points off, no problem about that. Just there's some static on your end. But let's go out to Fugatti really quick. Let's curse him out for obviously sleeping through this entire fight and card and making me do the fight chat solo dolo. The kid named Cuddy saying, Matt, how don't you see this as a cash grab? I absolutely see that as a cash grab. I think I've been absolutely 100% critical of this fight being a pay-per-view and it being a fight. I feel like that's been pretty obvious. Maybe I haven't used the word specifically cash grab, but my criticism of it has been clearly evident. Fugatti, what's up?
Bro, we agreed to boycott this.
Yo,
Dude, you just gave those fuckers, what, $75 that shit fight?
Yep.
We said we weren't going to do that. Now, that being said, I would have got on the fight chat with you, but yeah, I slept right through that. I had no interest in this fight. You know that. I'm surprised Spence didn't knock him out. I don't know what that says about Spence having to go 12 rounds with a 135-pounder, but, you know, I mean, I haven't really heard any. I was like chatting with the guys a little bit, but I mean, how did Spence look? I mean, well, what was your takeaway?
I thought he looked really good. I think we've because he's so young, and I think honestly speaking, we've seen very little of his career. Like I think like the Leonard Bundu fight on NBC to now. That's not a lot of fights. So I think we've seen very little of Spence, so it's nice to see more wrinkles to his game that I think have always been there. But I thought he looked good. I thought his head movement was on point. I thought that just his cardio was just always impressive. I wish he had got him out of there. To be honest, I think he could have at certain points. I think if he upped the tempo at earlier points in the fight, he could have potentially got Mikey out of there. But Mikey was tough and durable, man. So Spence did great,
yeah.
But I kind of expect him to do even better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the narrative's going to be for him not knocking Mikey out. Although, I mean, let's be real, a lot of the media was picking Mikey in this fight, especially in the 12 rounds. No one expected him to get beaten by, you know, I mean, he clearly didn't win a round, right? I mean,
he probably won maybe one or two. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you gave it 120,
I think they had like a 120.
Yeah. If you had 120, that's fine. I gave one round to Mikey.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, the narrative. Like, look, I'm gonna call every one of those guys on their bullshit if they come back and say, "Oh, what did you expect?" Because they're out here saying, "Oh, Mikey will win this fight. He's got too many fights, too much experience." If it goes 12 rounds, it's Mikey.
Gabriel Montoya.
Fuck, man, come on, really?
Gabriel Montoya coming out here and saying, Spence looks like he was weight drained. Mikey's at his optimum weight. He said Mikey was at his optimum weight. And this was post the weigh-in, guys. Nah, man. Like, the boxing media was 100% tripping on this fight. Like, yeah, I bought it. Like, I will fundamentally admit that I am super trash. I bought it. But even when I started up this fight, I'm like, hey, this is still a mismatch. Like, I bought this fight completely knowing it's a mismatch. It's a bad card. But I'm a fucking degenerate that pays for everything and buys everything. Plus, it's a tax write-off, so who cares? But, yeah, I thought Spence looked good. And I thought this did not need to be pay-per-view. And also, Fu, for your sake, don't watch anything else but the David Benavidez and Luis Nery fights. Everything else on the card, skip. Skip. The Chris Arreola fight, skip.
You know,
the Charles Martin fight, skip. You don't need to see them.
Yeah, here's the shit thing for us as boxing fans. You know, we had this talk the other day, right? When you were going kind of back and forth on the UK prices versus ours, and you were like, they have like 4 to 5 times or 10 times our amount of pay-per-views. This year is going to be shit for boxing for fans in the U.S. if this does any good.
Well, I don't think it matters for this fight because I think, obviously you didn't see it, but Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence had like a kind of face-off in the ring post-fight. They interviewed Manny Pacquiao, said, would he take
another pay-per-view?
Would he take the fight at AT&T Stadium later this year? And Manny Pacquiao said, yeah, why not? So Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, pay-per-view. That is seemingly coming next, in my opinion.
So, I mean, and then, they're going to announce Wilder Brazil pay-per-view. So that right there is going to be like 5 already, right? So, like, when you really run it through. So, I mean, boy, oh boy, that's going to be a fun year of $75 fucking Friday night fights. I don't mean to shit on this so much, but I said immediately, like, the only way like Mikey was ever going to challenge Spence is if he had maybe added a wrinkle to his game that was lateral movement. But look, in 39 fights, he's never added that. He's a straight forward and backward counterpuncher with good timing. That's it. And he's never going to be able to beat Spence with that because he's fighting a bigger guy. He has dodged Loma for that reason. I think Mikey would be a hell of a fight for Loma, and it's hard to pick against Mikey in that fight.
No, I'll be honest. I know you haven't seen the fight yet, but we had somebody ask earlier.
Yeah.
This sort of question, like, does this fight make you think that Loma would overwhelm Mikey? This is the type of fight where Spence, with his southpaw stance, with his head movement, with just his overall movement, period, you could see Loma just overwhelming Mikey and winning a clear decision.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Well, that's why I've always said that, I'm not saying Mikey's ducking Loma, but there's a real consequence to losing to Loma at 135 versus losing to Spence at 147. It's a different level of a consequence. Now, he has a loss on his record, but nobody's going to give him any shit for fighting Errol Spence. If he was to lose to Loma, it's a different category of a loss. It's a loss in an equal weight class. It's a belt turned over to another guy. Let's be real. That's why he didn't fight Loma. That's why he went up and took this. It's pay-per-view. It's a cash grab. It is an easy fight for him in terms of win, lose, or draw, he looks fine. There was no consequences to this fight. I mean, so people can be upset with me and say, oh, you slept through this fight. It's not because I don't like Errol Spence. It's not a knock against the PBC. It's just, look, I wasn't going to buy this fight. We talked about that.
Yep.
The truth of the matter is, no one should have fucking paid for this fight. It just puts us all in a bad place as a fandom, because now they can be, now what's next?
I think we're getting pay-per-views,
truth
man.
of the matter is,
we're just getting pay-per-views. Like Crawford Khan, I think that's going to do well enough that some big fights over there at ESPN are getting pay-per-view. And obviously, the fights we want most of all, I would say, a Mikey Loma fight, that's pay-per-view. I would say Wilder AJ, that's going to have to be pay-per-view if it's going to be made. They're going to force that situation.
And Loma Tank will probably be fucking pay-per-view now. Here's the shit, is that we're not going to get to see those fights like we would have been able to before, because now everyone's throwing it in fucking pay-per-view. Like Crawford Thurman or Crawford Spence. Everything's going to be a $75 pay-per-view now, because they know there's enough willing people to pay for it.
Absolutely.
Versus the landscape kind of being broken into getting to see it for free on ESPN, getting to see it for free on DAZN, getting to see it for free on Fox or Showtime with your subscription. Now it's going to be paying for all these fights. I understand that when you love the sport, you just pay for it. But I know Jay was throwing some shade at me. I know he was just also being kind of silly, but I think I stuck to my guns 100% on this Mikey Spence thing. I told everyone the truth. I wasn't going to fall for this bullshit. We made this fight instead of making the Crawford fight, because the truth of the matter is, Thurman was tied up, Porter was tied up. The other 147 guys over there didn't want to take on Spence, but Crawford wanted that fight. They could have made that.
Quickly, I will say this,
since
you're taking a subliminal at me, I only bought this because I'm a degenerate and I didn't want to fuck with the illegal stream, being perfectly honest.
No, also, it's great for our channel, right? I'm not mad about that. You got a lot of people sitting with you, watching the fight. I probably would have purchased it and watched it if I hadn't passed out at 9 o'clock like an old man.
You're so trash. You're so trash.
I know.
I would not have bought this. It's awful. Hey, but I mean, if I was up and like we're doing a show, like I probably would have bought it with you, Matt. Like it's no big deal.
I would have done it for you. I'd have done it for you.
That's so
But
sweet.
no, but I would have shit on it the whole time. Like I'm sure you probably did. Like this is fucking terrible. Like
not as harsh as that.
How
but
bad
you know
did
me.
Mikey look?
He started looking really bad. I mean, it really showed the limitations of his style, his technique. Yeah, this was not a good performance from Mikey. I mean, he lost pretty much every round. Like, he was absolutely dominated, and he got beat up in the process. It wasn't like it was a competitive fight that he just lost every round. No, he got dominated and beat up for a large portion of this fight.
And then rehydrated. Did his body just look bad?
He looked chubby. He looked chubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we talked about this. It's kind of like everything we said. Everything we said came true about this fight. But I thought Spence would knock him out. I really did. And I don't know what that says for Spence. I kind of want to see people's talking points on that.
I think it says more for Mikey than for Spence. Because, again, Spence has finished Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, guys that are legit welterweights, guys that have a history of taking good shots. Mikey, I think the added weight probably helped him to actually take the punishment more than anything. And I sort of made this point, like the times we have seen Mikey get hurt has not been recent. It was back at 126. It was 4 or 5 divisions below. Was he cutting too much weight in those divisions, and that's why we saw him get hurt against Salido, etc. I think that's probably more a factor. Again, I've always said this: when fighters don't cut as much weight, they can take shots better usually, but it does affect other things when you aren't cutting some weight, when you aren't getting in shape at least some.
Yeah. You hear that, Darren Till? Move up to 185, buddy. The chin might be a little better there. I don't know, man.
R.I.P. Darren Till.
I don't know.
R.I.P. Darren Till.
I need to, R.I.P. the gorilla. My man got knocked out. No, man. It looks like you guys had a good fight chat, though. And I just wanted to say hi and tell you I felt you. With a food nap.
You suck. Old ass food, taking the food nap. Let's go out to Santiago. Who saw this fight in a movie theater. Always wish I've done that. I've never done that yet. Santiago, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. I always planned to watch this fight, but I never did plan to pay full price for it. I paid $20 to watch it in theaters. So let that be a lesson to be smarter about how you purchase.
Good points. All valid points there.
Yeah, because I just basically saved $55 versus you having paid $75, and I got to watch it on a bigger screen than I own.
Agreed. Thoughts on the fight?
Apologies to you riding solo dolo because, like Fu, I assumed you were boycotting this. You chose to watch it. Hey, I watched it too, but had you hit us up, I would have come straight through and been like, here you go, Matt. Here's $25 to help cover for the pay-per-view. I know you think it's shit. I'm sure Fu's going to think it's shit, but hey, I'm here. I'm your ride or die guy.
That is true, Santiago. If it wasn't for the fact that I bought this pay-per-view 5 minutes before the pay-per-view started, I would have done that. But this was literally last minute. Like, fuck it, I'll do it. Is what it is.
I guess let that be a lesson learned to you, if anything.
Yep.
But anyways, here are my points at least, right? Mikey and Spence, they were very defensively sound. They were on par with each other. The one edge that I definitely give Spence is the fact that his offense was clearly better than Mikey. Mikey has always had an issue of being very economical with his punches, and that was very evident in this fight. Because Spence, at the very least, whenever he would move, it would always be after 3 or 4 punches. He never just sat there at 1s or 2s. Mikey, each time he tried to counter, was either only 1 or 2 punches, and he reset. He never followed up. He stayed too far out of the range where Spence had the better. And he showed to me that he was a better boxer than most of us probably gave him credit for. He showed us a level to his game that probably existed, but he never felt a need to actually use. So And I commend Mikey because Mikey, even throughout the entire fight where he looked tired, he looked like he was going to be stopped, he was still defensively sound. So for me, I think at 135, he's still a very dangerous fighter, but definitely this fight needs to be the fight that tells Mikey, you've managed to get away with it, doing the ones and twos, being a traditional counterpuncher, but now's the time where you need to start adding to your game, because I personally feel that Lomachenko, not only being the same weight as Mikey, but also being lighter than Spence, as far as I'm concerned, would probably have a field day with Mikey because of the fact that between the two of them, Lomachenko is just more active. He's very accurate, and I could easily see him giving Mikey troubles because of the fact that if Mikey did try to counter, I still would expect it to have been 1 or 2 shots him throwing, whereas if Lomachenko countered, it would probably be 3s and 4s, and that makes a big difference all around. So kudos to Mikey for coming up in weight and taking the fight, but like you said, this showed us the limitations of his style and what he's capable of, and the fact that it was just same old Mikey, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So co-main event, Benavidez versus Jalen Love. Benavidez looked very impressive to me. He looked like he hadn't missed a beat. To me, it kind of made me think, I wonder if this is how Matt felt when he saw John Jones come back. You know, because he was very, very accurate with his punches. Like, he did not waste any shots, and I was impressed that he managed to get Jay Leon out in just 2 rounds. So, welcome back, Benavidez. We look forward to seeing you get your belt back, because definitely I think he killed Anthony Dirrell. No way I see Dirrell winning that fight in any way, shape, or form. Louis Neri, very impressive. Love what I saw in him. Worked the body well. Amazing how I was able to put him down. I definitely hope to see more and more of him as his career progresses. It is amazing how many of these fights ended within 2 or 3 rounds for us to get to the main event. So thank God that we did not get what we got when we waited for Golovkin Alvarez, because you probably would have lost your mind at that point had that happened. If you have any questions regarding any of these topics or anything that anybody may have asked you, feel free to shoot. Otherwise, that's my call. I'm happy to be calling in, and hopefully next time me and Fu can join you for a live fight chat.
Definitely. Thank you for the call, Santiago. Glad you at least somewhat enjoyed the fight over there, because it was far, far cheaper. But digressing, ladies and gentlemen, we'll head out of here. Thank you for joining us on this live fight chat. Immediate reaction show. Hit the like button on your way out. Share the show. Subscribe. If it's on podcast forums, drop that 5-star review on iTunes. Head over to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio to get extra content. We just did a boxing banter episode today, talking about bar fights and basically hooligan shit that me, Rob, and Fu respectively have gotten into in our lives. It was a fun little story sharing podcast. It was fun. Some legit crazy shit that both Fu and Rob did. Oh my god. Definitely go check out that show. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Link is below in the description. All money does go towards the show, does go towards the channel. Last month proceeds and this month's goes directly to Fu and Rob for camera equipment to start doing interviews in their respective area. Obviously, Fu in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, he could have been there tonight. Doesn't have camera equipment. So go over to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio to help support the channel in any financial way. Have a great night or great morning if you're in the UK just waking up. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Stay off the weed. That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?